the internet. I'm Liz Ferks, and it's 643 days until my husband turns 40. So crazy to think about. We're a 14th of the way through our goal period, which is pretty crazy. It's amazing to think that it's already been that long, and it feels a little bit overwhelming to think about how much further we have left to go. I feel like this vlog is like Saga. I keep thinking about the guy that learns yoga. Maybe you guys have seen that video where it starts out with him just falling over, and you know, gradually he gets better and better, and it's a time-lapse video. So I kind of feel like these are like that. It's this super long, very slow time lapse of what's actually going on in our lives. So as it's getting to be the end of March, I am starting to look into my second quarter goals. In case you haven't figured this out, I'm kind of a planner nut. I like to have everything organized so I know what my important things to work on are, and just, I don't know, help me stay focused is really the big part of it. I've been using Michael Hyatt's planner for the last quarter, and I finally switched back to my own personal planner this quarter, which I'm super excited about. This past week, I took the time to sit down and write out my yearly goals, which I hadn't done yet. I kind of just had them like listed on a piece of paper rather than having all the stuff that I normally add to them. In my planner, I usually write down what the goal is and, you know, what the necessary steps are, why it's important to me, those kind of things. Ever since I did Sacred 6 by J.B. Glossinger, I've just gotten in the habit of adding those things. And one of the other things I've added is how I want to do this goal. So by that, I mean not just what steps do I want to take, but how do I want to feel while I'm doing the goal, and what kind of energy do I want to put in it, for lack of a better term. I was doing that. It struck me, particularly with my Women in Ministry book, that I have not been doing a very good job of putting that kind of energy into that project. I was writing down how I think I'm going to feel when I finish the project, and it did not at all match my whys for doing the project. So to me, that was an indicator of like, oh, maybe I need to look at this a little more closely. And I realized that I've been dragging a lot of emotional baggage from, you know, my experiences dealing with the Women in Ministry issue in the past, and fears that I have about that, and just the shame of, hey, this is a project I've been working on for more than 10 years, a long time. I spent this past week taking time to just do some tapping. That's been really good. Just trying to get rid of that emotional compound interest around that particular goal so that then I can move forward. Because I think it's so important when you look at goals to ask yourself, well, why haven't I already reached this goal? You know, there's got to be a reason you haven't done it. And if the reason is, oh, hey, I just never decided to do it, that's one thing. But if it's something that you've been trying to do over and over, there's probably something there that's preventing you from moving forward. And if there is, you know, until you get rid of that thing that's keeping you from moving forward, you're just going to keep getting dragged back to your starting point. It's one of the things that I really love about goal setting and, I don't know, getting into that underneath stuff, I think is so great, because once you shift that, you can just zoom right on towards your goal. As far as my quarterly goals are going, I was so excited this week. I checked on, I think it was Friday, and I have met my goal as far as being 10,000 words ahead of my beta, so super excited about that on my Pride and Prejudice fic, so that's good. As I said, this week for my Women in Ministry time, I have a block of time to work on that book, and instead of doing research for that book, I've been taking time to just do tapping. Health-wise, we're working on trying to, you know, figure out more about our sleep. We're going to use the HRV monitor that we have to actually monitor how much deep sleep we're getting and decide from there what we need to do next. We just finished Whole30, so that's pretty exciting. That went great. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And we already have a fair number of restrictions on our diet anyway, so we weren't cutting a lot out, but it was very time consuming to make so many meals every day. But at the same time, I feel like it was good. just practicing eating some different things. So I'm really happy that we did that, and I'm really happy that it's over now. My other quarterly goals, the other one that I've been talking to you guys about, is finishing up where we're at with our Epic Everyday class. And unfortunately, we still have not made a ton of progress on that. I feel like we've made good progress in the area of planning and just tweaking. It's been good, but I get frustrated that we're not further. It's kind of nice though this week, just thinking about, finishing up my 10,000 words ahead of my beta, and then recognizing, okay, I did that just by being faithful. I started out, I don't know if I told you guys, but I started out where I was sending a chapter to my beta like the same day that I wrote it. Being 10,000 words ahead of her, which is like 2 or 3 chapters ahead of her, has been really great. So, and I did that just by working a little bit every day. So if I can just keep that mentality with our Epic Everyday stuff and keep moving forward, eventually we'll get there. So I think that's about it for me. Hopefully, you guys can think about why you're doing what you're doing and how you're going to do it. Because yeah, that signature that we put into everything we do makes such a difference. And I think we all know it subconsciously. If somebody walks up to you and says, hey, it's so great to see you, depends on how they say it, right? If they say it genuinely or if they're sarcastic, and we can tell what kind of emotional signature there is to their words. And we put that same emotional signature into the work that we do every day, whether it's physical output, like cleaning the house for me, or, emotional or mental output in the way that I write my stories, or just different things. We put that energy into what we're doing, and it changes things. It changes how we feel about what we're doing. It changes what work comes out. I know when I'm feeling tired and cranky, my writing is not very fun to read. It tends to be, kind of tired and cranky too. So I think it's so important to pay attention to those signals, and instead of, I can't believe I'm saying this because I am the quintessential type A, muscle your way through kind of person, but, instead of pushing through, sometimes we need to listen to ourselves and say, oh, okay, so there's a little bit of a catch there. There's something that says, I don't want to do this right now. What is causing that? And what do I need to do about it? What do you guys do when you get stuck on a project, or when you're feeling frustrated and cranky and you don't want to work on something? All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. I'd love to hear your answers in the comments, and have a great week.